Zoom can hear us right now. They can't
Can
see
they
us.
see us?
They can't see us. I feel like
Okay.
messing with them. Zoom. Hi, Zoom. Also, Mark, you're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Happy New Year! No, we already did a New Year show. Happy Chirping Bird Comedy. I don't see us on the Twitch yet though. Maybe there we go. Yeah, hey, we're on Twitch. We are here. William Claude Reynolds is having a very reminiscent night of all the porn sites that he used to visit that are gone. That are gone. They just retired. They just all quit. They said, you know what, William Claude Reynolds, it's the future. Go do OnlyFans or whatever people are doing now. Well, no, we are not. I'm not going to read any of those. I'm done. I'm not going to read any of those at this point. I can understand why that one might have that one might have gotten canceled. That one makes sense to me. That is not usually a term used these days, so we won't do that. William Claude Reynolds is here. Andre's eating. Andre is also checking out his package. That's why we are starting late. He was having some technical difficulties with his package, which happens in the winter in Canada pretty frequently, I've heard. Very cold there. It is also cold here in Chicago, so I booked a few Chicago comedians tonight. Just so they wouldn't have to go out in this weather. So I did not want them to even go out in this weather. Pratik is on later tonight. I saw Pratik last night. I asked him tonight if he would just talk about the what happened at the open mic last night, and he said absolutely not. So no stories about last night. Pratik. I'll try to get some out of him. I think he tried to like throw out two comics for no reason. It was awesome. He was like, why are you looking at me with your hands crossed? Why, I don't like you judging me like that. I'm like, this is an open mic and they're comics. And he's like, I don't think you should be here anymore. And I'm like, Pratik just kicked someone out of my open mic. So it was a good night. Really good night. I haven't had to kick someone out of this Zoom room or the actual open mic in months at this point. So try me, Brandon. That's what I'm going to say. Brandon, what the hell am I looking at here? Brandon is like in an office. Brandon looks like he's going to get interrogated, but I'm glad he got out of that scary haunted room. Brandon, thank you for joining us. Glad you can make it. Thank you for taking a seat. Thank you for staying safe. And then we do have Amy Neagle Schwartz, who's was a Chicago comic and is now in LA. And speaking of LA, I do want to say that there is a fundraiser awareness show happening on this channel this upcoming Sunday with Kelly Zemnikas. I'm not sure what time it's at, but it's going to be Sunday night. So check it out. You could donate money to some relief efforts for the LA fires, which I don't know. The LA fires, they suck. It's bad. I know Amy's out there and she's having to watch to see if she needs to get evacuated at any point. I know a lot of performers in LA, so I saw on Facebook there was dozens and dozens of people marking themselves safe. But I was just like, I don't know who didn't mark themselves safe. Like, there's so many people marking themselves safe. I can't remember who didn't mark themselves safe to go help them. So it's almost more distracting if just mark yourself in danger. What I'm saying is, if you're in danger, take the time to post on Facebook that you're in danger. It will help me. It will help all of us help you. But no, it seems like everyone's doing okay that I know, and that's good. But I know it's affecting a lot of people. I was affected personally in an interesting way. I saw a news story yesterday, and it freaked me out from the fire. So I ran and I told my wife. I said, "Oh my God, you'll never believe it. Michael's house burnt down." And she was like, "Michael who?" And I was like, "Michael from Grand Theft Auto." And she goes, the fictional video game character in Grand Theft Auto had his house burned down. And I said, yeah, he did. The house it was based on burnt down. So that was like the saddest day for me. And then she said, what about the people that actually live there? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't think about the humans. I'm just stuck in the Grand Theft Auto video game world, which is what I am going to be doing during this show. I'm just going to put up the screen of Grand Theft Auto that I'm playing. I don't know if you noticed that. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto right now. I'm literally punching a hot dog vendor right now, William Claude Reynolds. That's what I'm doing. I'm stealing cars. I'm sitting on the historic. Okay, Edward. I don't know what is. I'm gonna. You know what? Also a reminder, and Boris Hyken is on tonight as well. I do want to. Oh, hold on, Andre. Hold that back up. Let me see that right there. Let me see. Hold it up for 1 second. Michael's not on that one. Where is? I don't know. Michael's one of the characters that's not pictured above. But there's not a picture. There he is. That's Michael on the left. So his house burnt down. So as you donate money to the LA funds, remember that we have to rebuild Michael's house. That's what we're doing as well with that. I have to stop playing Grand Theft Auto. We do have 2 PlayStations and 2 TVs next to each other in my living room. Me and my wife play, and I was telling somebody at work that I had 2 PlayStations and 2 TVs set up, and he said, for the children, for the kids? And I was like, for children, adult children that I am. That's like, I was like, we don't have any kids, but I was just letting them believe that. I debated putting up a 3rd one today just to put on some hockey games, Andre. Andre, what are you drinking there?
Fireball.
Oh my God, that's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. They're not even contained. Amy is in relatively not danger, but she could be in danger, and you're just pounding fireballs like that. That is not a good way. I'm doing my duty. I have my spray bottle. I've been practicing by spraying my orange cat, which is very similar to chasing down a fire that's jumping around. So I got Brandon, yes, this is a corduroy overshirt, shirt, jacket with snaps. Yes, it is. Brandon always appreciates a good corduroy. I appreciate a good sleeveless shirt, Brandon. So I hope you're wearing a sleeveless shirt as well. Brandon's just going to roll up his sleeves. My cat. Oh my God, my cat. I got to spray my cat.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, right. The fire. It is like putting out a fire. This is an amazing thing. Boris Hyken is here. Anthony Bonazzo from Chicago is making his return onto the show tonight. Pratik will be here later, reporting from all over the place. And Judah, I'm still contacting Judah. He's a maybe. He might show up a little bit later. He's not in or out. He's going to try to make time to pop in for a little bit. So if that happens, I'll let you know to get your questions ready. Otherwise, if you just want to ask any questions that you have, it's fine to do it now. You can do it now. I want to get this started because we started so late. But you know what? I'm just going to bring up our first comedian because I don't know how many. I don't know. I'm out of time right here already, and I'll do jokes in between people if I have time. That's called filler. That's what a good host does. They do filler. They do the fluff piece. Brandon is giving me the 1 minute warning already. Brandon just gave me the light. He's my resident legal counsel. A reminder to everybody: don't read the chat if you're performing, but I'll message you there when you got a couple minutes left. Which is the right way to do it. Hello, everybody on Twitch. If you like what you see from anybody tonight, please feel free to donate to their Venmo, or you can donate to my Venmo, and I'll just divide it up amongst the performers. That's how I do it. I'm very fair. I'll post my Venmo in the chat as well. I have a corduroy shirt budget that is out of control, Brandon. It is out of control. I got about 6 corduroy shirts right now. I have worn corduroy on corduroy on corduroy. I have worn 3 pieces of non-matching corduroy, different sized whale and colors. That's what people in the know call being in style. But no, we're going to bring up our first comedian. Super happy to have him back on Chirping Bird. Please welcome the wonderful Boris Hyken.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Mark, you sound exhausted.
No, I'm not exhausted.
You sound like you've been fighting fires out there, bro.
Jeez, I'm spraying my cat all day.
Spraying your cat? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Way to be a hero. All right. Well, I appreciate you having me here. I hope everybody. Lauren, Andre, are you guys knitting or playing video games? I can't tell if those are controllers.
No, he's checking out his package.
Neither.
Battery.
They're toy cars. I love it.
It's card.
You got an interest, I could tell, because you got the cars, and then behind you got framed trains on your wall too. What else you got? Are you like a train guy, a car guy?
Yeah.
Are you a mechanic?
No.
Just into the novelty of it.
Yeah. The building. Yeah, building models, all kinds of stuff like that.
All right, very cool, very cool. I bet there's another model builder in this chat. This feels like a model builder kind of show. I feel like everyone's got a kindred spirit in this audience. Like I can see Will Reynolds and Mike Eckert are in the same room at opposite sides, like an old divorced couple. You guys know you're like a yin and yang of each other. You see that, right? It's lovely to see. Yeah, everybody's got a twin. Everybody's got a twin. Edward and Brandon. Look at that. Edward and Brandon. Everybody's got a parent here. Edward, what are you holding? It's some sort of controller, right? Oh, an Oculus. Am I a figment of your virtual world right now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Am I real, Edward? Oh, man, you're causing me to have a crisis right now. Did you guys have a good holiday? Edward, did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, I did.
Tell me your entire family dinner was in the metaverse. Is that what happened?
I ate meta food.
Ate meta food.
Yeah, I just put it to my mouth and it disappeared.
Perfect. This is what my daughter does too. I love it. I had a decent holiday. I had a lot of bombs dropped during my holiday. A couple. Yeah. First of all, my aunt. So here's the thing I'll tell you about me. My whole family looks like me, essentially. We're all a bunch of small Jews from one city in the Ukraine. Everybody looks the same. Everybody's like the same, similar genetics. And then I have an aunt who's a 6 foot tall, beautiful blonde woman who and our whole time we're like, it's incredible that she's part of the family and she looks so different from everybody else. And then at, I believe 61 years old, she did a 23andMe and announced to the family that she was adopted and she had no idea, and found out this year because she did a 23andMe and it came back 0% Jewish. And of course, my dad doesn't skip a beat and he was like, I knew the whole time. Basically what happened was her mom was supposed to have a baby that didn't work out during the birth. The baby passed away. And what they do in Ukraine, apparently, is they just give you some other baby. So that's what happened. And that's how she was raised. And I guess like rumors eventually circulated down to where my dad is just casually like, I knew the whole time, but said nothing. She was a reverse ugly duckling, essentially. She was the best looking person in my family by far. And now we understood why. And then I had one other bomb. So I had a trans cousin. And I say had, not that my cousin's passed away, but that my cousin is no longer trans and announced at Christmas that he wants to go as a man again, which was pretty weird to have like Trump get reelected and my cousin immediately become a man again. That felt like strange timing of the world. Obviously not actually related. What actually happened was he traveled Europe and he walked the El Camino Trail. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. It's like a 400 mile trail. He walked a 300-mile trail through Spain, and he said he found himself, which, to be fair, it's very difficult to walk that far in heels. So I can see how he landed on that conclusion. But, I love him either way, obviously. I went actually to Pride to support him last year. And I got to tell you something. Has anybody here been to a Pride parade? Make some motion if you've been to a Pride parade. Yeah, I got to tell you something. I support every group. You got your LGBTQ, except for one, and that's the asexuals. I don't understand why the asexuals are at the Pride Parade. No one can explain this to me. Right, Brandon? It's like atheists going to church, right? You hit unsubscribe. You don't have to be there. I don't know how they joined up so nonchalantly and nobody notices them marching next to my gay friends. I don't know anybody who has less in common with asexuals than my gay friends. They're the least asexual people I know. And yet somehow that became a political cohort, right? Nobody's asexual phobic. Has anybody here ever met an asexual phobic? Is anybody worried about asexuals grooming their kids? Groom my kids. That's what I want. That's who I want as a babysitter. If anything, asexuals should be on a team with straight married people. We have a lot more in common, right? We should be a team with the asexuals. Lorna and Andre know as they're playing with toy cars on the couch at home. You guys feel me. I don't know. And you could still laugh at them, obviously, right? Everybody else is off limits. That's how you know they're different. They're like the Italians of pride, you know? You can still do the accent and you're not bigoted. You're funny. You can just be like, Mamma mia, I'm asexual. It still works. And it's, yeah, you can take it so far. Yeah, it's been tough. It's been crazy in all the cities. Obviously, Cali's got it the worst right now. But I don't know if you guys saw in New York, right before that, they lit a homeless person on fire.
Oh, no.
Did you see that? And then California's like, what if we built the whole city out of the homeless person? And then this too soon. I thought it would be too soon. I was putting furniture together this morning. And I don't know if you guys ever looked as you're putting furniture together. I took a photo of it. And on the bottom of this chair, of course, like all of them, it says, this article meets the flammability requirements of California, which we've all been interpreting that wrong, right? They didn't mean what we thought it meant. All right, I tried the jokes that are in the middle of the crisis. I had to try it as we're still in the middle of a disaster, but it had to be done. I still think New York's coming out of a lot of stuff, man. I'll tell you what, the thing I've been dealing with is the weed situation in New York. I don't know if anybody's been in New York lately. Andre gives a thumbs up. You know what, Andre? I was with you. I was this whole time I love weed. I've been like, legalize it. And then they did it. And let me tell you something. It's a fucking mess out here, okay? I walk out of the subway, it smells like weed. I walk past the bodega, it smells like weed. I sit on my couch and fart, it smells like weed. I can't control myself is what I'm saying. I need the government back in my life to tell me what to do and to not smoke too much, because it's tough, man. I have a baby, and well, she's a toddler now. I have a toddler. And when we first had a baby, my wife was like, are you going to stop smoking weed? And I had to be honest, like, no, right, Brandon? No, not if you want me fully loving her. I need weed to be in touch with my emotions, right? You guys know I was a little dick in high school before I started smoking weed. I know what I was. Plus, all the baby food is measured in ounces and grams, so I got the math on lockdown. I'm miles ahead of my wife on that one. There's no competition. Yeah, I don't know. And then, of course, we had the CEO shooting thing go on. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but like, who I'm worried for, who I think is next? I'm worried about the Hinge CEO, because I don't know if you guys have seen how these little incel boys, he was an incel, by the way. Nobody realizes this, a slightly different kind, but he was also an angry incel, the guy that shot the CEO. And I know some of these angry incel boys, and I am worried to death for the Hinge CEO, okay? Whoever's in charge of Hinge and Tinder, that CEO is going to get got, and there's going to be a bullet with inscribed, must be over 6 foot tall in that bullet. Because these boys are angry. They're tired of the apps, man. I did have a good holiday otherwise. I live with my wife and kid in Brooklyn, and my wife's Christian and I'm Jewish. So to compromise, we got a Christmas tree, but I picked it up in Jersey for $40 cheaper. That was where we met in the middle for the holiday. It was a pretty good time. I don't argue with family during the holidays. I don't know how you guys are. Yeah, thank you. You know what it is, Brandon, is I can't take myself seriously, okay? Because I've accepted something that I wish everyone else would admit, and that is that my political opinion is literally just the last thing a smart person said to me. Can we all admit this? And stop pretending, right, that these are I'll have a conversation with somebody. I'm like, yeah, wow, that makes a lot of sense. In the back of my head, I'm like, that's my opinion now. I'll take those gems to the next smart guy. Turns out that last guy was an idiot. This is how shameless I am, okay? Admit this if you do this too, Brandon. I will argue over text message with a conservative friend of mine, and I will at the same time argue over text message with a liberal friend of mine, and they both think they're arguing with me, and I'm literally just passing their texts back and forth. One thinks I'm liberal, one thinks I'm conservative. I am the glue that holds this country together, okay? And I was not even born here, which is neat, by the way. I wasn't born here, so my daughter is the first person in my family who could be president, which is pretty cool. She's also the first person in my family who could be a domestic terrorist, which is not as cool, but still true. You know, I'd be a foreign threat still technically. You know what I mean? But my baby's homegrown. I'm very proud. Kind of nice. I do get asked all the time, and I will tell you something. As a Ukrainian, I am tempted to go back and defend my homeland. But as a Jew, I'm just joking. No, thank you. I'm good. Don't clap for me, Brandon. I'm good right where I am. I could not do it. I like this country. I like living here. I will say, compared to being elsewhere, it's not so bad. I have my more favorite and my less favorite states, though. I will say that much for sure. I'll tell you the least favorite state that I've been to this past year. Is anybody here tuning in from West Virginia? Any West Virginians? I learned something very interesting about West Virginia. Did you guys know West Virginia is number 2 in the country for incest? Did you know that? Yeah, number 2. And when I say that in the Northeast, people are often like, oh, what's number 1? But if I say that in the South, everyone's immediately like, Alabama, they know. and you know what? Alabama's fine, okay? At least they're number 1. I feel way worse for West Virginia because they're number 2, okay? And it's not because they're any less into incest, right? They just got less game. They wish they could be number 1. They just keep getting cousin zone despite their best efforts. Stuck in the cousin zone again. I feel like I'm sort of like stealth diverse these days, right? Because until people know my name, I don't have an accent. I came here when I was 7, so I feel like I kind of snuck by in there where it's like real stealthy. But then my name, so Boris obviously is rough, but then my last name, and you can read it on here, but here's the kicker, okay? You can read it and you see how it's spelled, but it's pronounced Hyken, okay? So my last name starts with a silent K, and of course, when people read it and they don't know, they often pronounce it Kiken, which is a very fun way for your last name to get pronounced as a Jewish refugee in America. And a lot of Jews come over here and they shorten their last name to sound less Jewish, which I obviously could not do. It would only sound more Jewish in the worst way possible. I think I'd have to shorten it from the front for it to sound less. Isn't that ironic? I'd have to circumcise my name to sound less Jewish. There we go. We got an A. I feel like that's a good one. I was thinking about this. I don't know if we're history buffs here. I feel like judging by looks, some of you guys are probably history buffs. I was thinking about this. Have you guys ever heard that moral dilemma? If you had a time machine, would you kill baby Hitler?
Yeah.
Would you guys do it? What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, everybody always quickly answers yes, but I don't think they've thought it through, okay? Because I've thought this through. Maybe I'm just too selfish, but there's no way I'm going back, killing baby Hitler, and then coming back and having everyone be like, you killed who? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but I would have to wait till like 1941 to kill Hitler, okay? Poland's going to have to take one for the team. So I could come back a hero and not a guy who killed some baby. You know what I mean? Like, there's no explain that to anybody. I could at best kill like angsty teenage Hitler, okay? I'll meet you halfway there. Because at least he was probably like a real catty bitch, right? He'd be an easy kill. And then at least I come back and everyone's like, you killed posthumously famous artist Hitler? Be like, that's right. I got a signed original and everything. I'll be good about it. I don't know. It's too much arguing around me. I really got to say, even my daughter, my 2.5-year-old daughter, already obsessed with politics. The other day, my 2.5-year-old comes up to me and she's like, Daddy, do you think our elections have become like a soft civil war and merely a distraction from the division that will lead to an inevitable spiral and downfall of our country's institutions? And I said, that is a run-on sentence, you stupid little girl. She needs to learn, okay? She needs to learn sometimes how to form her sentences. Okay, we're working through a lot of fun stuff here. Let's see. All right, I've got just enough time to do. All right, I want to talk about this one because I've been trying to nail this one out. Does anybody here down a grandma through the COVID thing? Anybody down to grandma the past 4 years? It can't be the only one. Have you? I know everyone's talking about the housing market, the lumber market. The grandma market's been on fire. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to that. I've been short selling grandmas out here. My 86-year-old grandma died, but here's the kicker, not even from COVID. That's really the worst part because I have to explain that to people, right? It's like COVID stolen valor from my grandma. It's like my uncle died on 9/11, but he was just drunk driving at Staten Island. You know what I mean? I gotta give that backstory. I can't just say it. But then here's the worst part. Okay, so this is completely true. My 86-year-old grandma died, not even from COVID. I have a 96-year-old grandma who's still kicking, made it through the whole 4 years, and she is so jealous of the one that died. She wants to go so bad. The whole world is like, we must protect her. I wear a mask around her. She's like, take that off, you pussy. Take an international flight and spit in my mouth, please. Mama Bird needs COVID. She wants to go. But she's still kicking. She's still kicking. All right, thank you guys. I'm Boris Eichen. Back to Mark.
Yeah, one more time for Boris. Yes. And one thing, Boris, you were talking, one thing he said he was putting furniture together this morning, and I almost fell out of my chair because I'm like, that is such a not a morning task for me. Like if I have to do something like that, it's going to take me all morning to prepare. Like I got to make a big breakfast. Because once I start this shit, it's going to be like 8 hours of me struggling and running to Home Depot a few times to get a different Allen wrench. And then I'm going to have to make at least like 3 pots of coffee to get started. Like that's very ambitious. That's an ambition.
I am still missing 2 screws in a chair. I'll be straight with you.
There you go. 2 screws in a chair. Oh, wow. Andre is relaxing. We are going to keep rolling. I'm super happy that he is chilling. I still think William Claude Reynolds has a beat, but he's moving around now. Yeah, William is still awake. That's good. At this point, I was going to check. I feel like Edward is probably sneaking up on William Claude Reynolds in the I saw he has the helmet on, and I saw his shoulder. He was doing the sneaky bounce thing. It was food disappears when he puts it to his mouth. That's what we learned about. Brandon's making some beard disappear. Good job, Brandon. Love to see it. Pounding it. What is that, Brandon? What do you got there?
It's a hazy
little thing. It's just a little hazy little thing. There you go. Very appropriate. I like that I could see my face in the reflection on the window. That is really cool. He's in the Zoom. He's actually in the Zoom, folks. He's not doing a agenda. That's amazing. All right. Pratik's here, but he will be going up later because our next performer is coming to us from LA, and she's safe for now. Thank God. Please welcome Amy Swartz.
Hey. Yeah, I'm trying to, stay on top of things, trying to stay on top of my health. Earlier, I was like, am I like getting sick? I feel kind of tired. Am I depressed or is the world just on fire? Yes, I think it's, the world is on fire currently. So, if I suddenly leave, I'll update y'all. But, yeah, I'm in LA and it's very interesting. I'm, ADHD and there's a Ritalin shortage. So that means 2 things. That means there's a ton of creative ADD people here, and a lot of them are not paying attention and suddenly having to run. But then once they do know what's going on, we are the people you need in crisis. ADD people are the ones who got you covered. So don't fear, the ADHD are running LA or be afraid by that. I don't know. Boris was like, yeah, let me do some fire jokes. And then he was like, is this too soon? I like to call it currently happening. That's what I like to call it. Currently happening. I'll just be peeking out the window from time to time. Yeah, so I've been going by Amy Nico Schwartz. I've kind of wanted to shorten my name, so I'll be taking feedback But I can't go by Amy Schwartz because there's just too many Amy Schwartzes. So for now, I just have 3 names like a serial killer. And I don't know. I don't think I would be. Well, actually, okay. I feel like I would be a good serial killer. All right. There's a couple reasons. I'm small. All right. I'm athletic. I'm bisexual, so I'm sneaky. No. But I'm too nice. I'm too nice to be a serial killer. People have gotten like mad at me for being too nice before. It's weird. But the biggest issue I've had with having the Amy Schwartz is like I constantly am getting mixed up with the Amy Schwartzes. It's causing problems. Like I had Amy Schwartz skip school when I was a kid and I got in trouble. Same Amy Schwartz stole my pizza party, you know, just shenanigans, wrong glasses. Nothing that great until recently. I went through the drive-thru to get a prescription because, you know, America, right? That's the way you got to do it. It's the best way. And this lady was like, oh, you have this prescription. And it was like a name I didn't recognize. And I mentioned like the Ritalin shortage. So I was like, is this like a new generic Ritalin? Like, what is that? Maybe that's my prescription. And she went to check and she came back and she said, it is a tablet for your vagina. And there's no way to like say that's not your prescription without it sounding like it's for your prescription in that moment. Like it's just like, no, that's not for me. Get me that Ritalin. She's like, sure it isn't. All right, this is what happens when you try new material very fast while looking out the window. As I mentioned, this set brought to you by the Ritalin shortage. All right. Yeah, what else I want to talk about? I've only been in LA since September. I'm originally from Chicago, and I've been trying to like rep Chicago, you know, and I don't know if I'm doing a great job. Like people are like, oh, Chicago's so dangerous, you know, Chicago, do you want a gun? And I'm like, no, like Chicago's awesome, right? Like a lot of y'all know Chicago. It's great, totally safe. And recently, when I first got here, I heard like a loud banging sound one night. I was sleeping and it was like bang, bang. And it kept going on. I got annoyed. And so I just finally like couldn't take it. I was just like, pipe down out there, shut the hell up. And then it kept going on. And I was like, this is crazy. So I started yelling out. I was just like, just dump him already. Dump him, you know. You're freaking my cat out. And then I checked the news and it had been an earthquake. It was not a couple fighting. It was a 4.7 seismic activity. And I was like, oopsies. I'm all telling people Chicago's safe. And then my reaction to an earthquake is to tell a couple to stop fighting and beating each other up. So not doing the best job. People warned me to moving here, but they all warned me about like the wrong things. Like they were like, oh, you're gonna hate the traffic and people are gonna be fake. And I was like, how are they gonna be fake? Are they gonna be nice to me? And people were like, yeah, they're gonna be way too nice. I was like, that sounds great. I will take people being nice to me than threatening me. That sounds pretty cool. I don't care. But nobody warned me about the robots. I don't know if y'all have seen the DoorDash like delivery robots that roam around here in LA. Wow. We've got these robots that roll around and deliver food, and they got eyes on them to try to make them look cute. So they kind of look like Wall-E. Imagine like an Uber driver Wall-E, like walking around, DoorDash Wall-E. And they're getting on my nerves, right? Because I got a lot of friends that like do that for a living, and I've been following Chicago by creepy men, but I gotta tell you, it's another level of creepy when you're being followed and you freeze and it freezes and you turn around, it's like a robot just blinking at you. Like, it is creepy. So I saw a robot recently and it had like a pride flag on it. And I went up to the robot and I was like, just because you're queer doesn't mean you're not a scab. Scabbity scab scab. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm bullying robots. Like, This is ridiculous. And I was like, but a robot is trying to queer bait me. A robot isn't sexual. It can't be queer. I don't care if its name is Sasha and then I realized, oh wait, it's a robot. It is part of the community. It's asexual, right? Boris, it can't have sex yet. These are just simple DoorDash robots. They're not capable. But yes, I will. I feel I will hate crime, DoorDash Wally. I don't know. I need to stop because when they take over, I'll probably be tortured. So now I'm trying to be nicer to them, but I'm still bullying them. Like I made one run into a fence repeatedly the other day, just banging its head, like because I didn't get out of the way. So I don't know. I do sympathize with the asexual community though, because nobody likes asexual people. Everyone's like, you fucking nerd. And so, I think allow them, right? Because like they want to be part of something, they are like the Italians though of the LGBT community. Like I feel like they can get made fun of, but they'll
like
still
the
get
confetti.
Yeah, the confetti. Yeah, they're fun, but people can make fun of them.
Chirping Bird Comedy.
Hold on. Where is this coming?
Chirping Bird confetti? Is there confetti on the screen?
No, I don't know. I think he was in virtual reality. I think.
Oh. Hell yeah, man.
We weren't getting the full experience that he was. Sorry about that. I had a mute.
I can relate. I honestly was on edibles in Mario Land when the fire started. So I cannot judge. I was like, what's happening outside? I was at Universal Studios and they actually sent out people dancing in the ash to try to distract us and did not close the park. So I get it, man. Keep doing those edibles. But yeah, what was I saying? I don't know. The asexuals, they are the Italians. They'll still get, framed for crimes, but everyone will laugh. All right, moving on. I already warned y'all there's a Ritalin shortage and I'm distracted by my window. Let's see. I want to talk about some new things. I think animals are certain animals are smarter than us. Does anyone else agree?
Yeah.
Right? I think they're smarter. I think we need to start letting certain animals lead, right? Like whales. Whales have 15-minute long pop songs. 15 minutes. Like, that is way more complex than ours, okay? And they don't work jobs, like whales are clearly smarter than us. And then, of course, we have orcas. And I would like to thank the orcas. The orcas, I feel, they started our class revolution, I feel, right? Like the orcas were the first to sink the yachts. So, and they didn't just sink like certain boats. They sank like only like ultra fancy, like polluting yachts. Like shout out to the orcas. The orcas can tell the difference between a poor actor's house burning down and a billionaire polluting the ocean. So I don't know. All right. I've gotten too specific. But I'm trying to like think of jokes to support people like, trying to go on strike and people trying to actually like, build the middle class back up. I don't know. It's hard to do like labor rights jokes, It's not always an easy topic. I saw like people talking smack about like when the Amazon workers were on strike and the Starbucks workers were on strike. And this one guy in the comments on this online thing I saw, he kept saying over and over, they're just pouring coffee. Shut up and pour coffee. All you do is pour coffee. And I looked the guy up to see what he did for a living that contributed to society. And he sold Ski-Doo accessories. Yeah. And this guy was mad at Starbucks employees for going on strike. I'm like, bro, you sell fanny packs for Ski-Doos. Like, you do not matter in society. Like, at least the Starbucks employees are making like complicated caffeine drinks to fuel like frontline workers. So I don't know. Labor jokes are hard. All right, let's keep going. I feel like I'm I don't know, like I'm a character in a movie right now. I was talking to my friend on the phone and he was like, I was telling him I like almost didn't want to tell people that I was in Hurricane Katrina, and he was like, why? And I was like, people might get suspicious. Like, I was in Houston during Enron. I was in Hurricane Katrina. I was in Louisiana. I had to evacuate. I was in Chicago and Grant Park when Obama got elected. I was a medical worker in the pandemic, and now I'm like here in LA on the fires. I'm basically neurotypical, like ADHD Forrest Gump, you know, just I'm just popping up everywhere. Like, hey, what's up, guys? Anyone want to go jogging? You know, pretty much. No, I hate jogging. That's a joke. But I will go skateboarding in the apocalypse. So if anyone's down later, I don't know, trying out some new things while distracted. I've had people ask me about having kids, and I don't know. I've been considering it now, but I don't know if I should be making the decision about having children, because I really want to have a daughter, and I really want to have a daughter for only one reason. I want to have a daughter so I can name her Junior. And I don't think I should be in charge of the decisions. My girlfriend was like, absolutely not. We cannot have a daughter and name her Junior. And I'm like, but it would be so hilarious. Like, people would be so mad. Like, they'd be like, oh, you mean Junior Dino? And I'd be like, no, Dina. And it would be hilarious, but awful for that child. So I'm not allowed to make decisions at all. I don't know. I've been doing questionable things. I've been catcalling a lot this year. It's been fun. Yep. I've been calling up my girlfriend and demanding to speak to the cat. So, yeah, highly recommend it, actually. That's a pretty good one. That's pretty fun. What else has been going on? I've been working for myself. That's been chaotic. That's been insane. You know, and it sounds fun being your own boss, which it is, but it's also like weird because like there's no HR. HR is just one person, and boy, can she be toxic because it's me, you know? Like if I got a complaint, it's with myself, you know? My HR is just like, do more, you lazy bitch. So not always fun. Like my evil boss self made my working self fly Spirit 3 times this year. Okay. Like it's not always perfect. But I don't know. I can't complain. I've been getting new ads on my phone. Anybody else get like targeted ads a lot? Mm-hmm. Like where it's like directly to you and you're like, this is creepy. Someone's listening. Yeah, I used to get ads about like, you know, the perfect furniture for living in my car when I first moved in with my girlfriend. And that was terrifying. Once I figured out it was basically saying, in case you get dumped, here's furniture for living in your car. But now I'm getting new kind of ads now that we've been together a while. Now I'm getting this ad and it's like a couple that's really cute and like one's on like bended knee, right? And they've got like a ring and it says, say yes or say I do to donating your plasma. It's like just basically saying you broke bitch, pull the trigger and I propose by donating your plasma to buy that ring. So that's fun. I love it when ads insult me. But you know, $800, that ain't bad. But I'm Italian, I can't do it. They're teasing me. Those dang, I will join any class action lawsuit though at this point. Yes. Sell all my data and then let me have a check. All right, I've got to start to wrap it up here. Let's see. I don't really have any new bangers. Anyone have any topics they want to talk about? I'll end on any like sports news. Anybody want to talk about anything? Someone asked, is this public? I shouldn't be revealing what I'm saying. All right. True. Zuckerberg is listening to us. Zuckerberg's ready to take us all down for his little new buddy friends. All right. I guess I'll just end on this. I'll just end on, some advice, I guess, that I've updated. I once got uninvited from a party for saying gender's a construct. But to be fair, it was a gender reveal party. And so, you know, I get it, but I was excited to go, and but I warned them. I was like, I'll be there, but I'm going to say some shit. And they were like, you don't have to come. And I was like, I'll see you there. And they said, you are uninvited. So if you ever get invited to a party you don't want to go, I realized this can work for any party, right? Like if you got to go to a birthday party and you're on a tight budget, just say time is a construct, you know? Just say money's a construct, and they will get very annoyed and they will uninvite you. You just had to say it, whisper it 3 times, and a grumpy boomer will just pop up and be like, yeah, uninvited. And you don't have to go start a forest fire or attend some jerk's party. So I'm just going to end on that advice. And yeah, thank you all for supporting comedy and allowing me to be chaotic as hell out here. Thanks.
Yeah. And stay safe, Amy. Please stay safe. Get out of there. Keep looking out the window. Keep checking. Like the fire spotter. That's what I was like I said, because Michael from GTA's house burned down. Now I'm very vested in the LA fires. So I started looking at I kept looking up news stories. I'm like, this is absolutely bonkers. All these places I know from Grand Theft Auto are under danger and might not exist soon. So I keep freaking out. And then now I got a targeted ad for being a fire spotter at a national park for the U.S. government, which sounds like the perfect day job to do Zoom comedy.
What a scam.
Yeah, is that a scam, Brandon? Is that a scam? Should I not apply?
It's gotta be.
There's no way. All right, I'm going to apply.
Jobs.
I'm 100% going to apply to this job. There's also a video game called Fire Spotter in which you just climb the tower and look for fires, and I was pretty good at it. So
Dude, we need someone. We're not getting alerts fast. So please do.
Okay, you guys need some fire spotters out there. That's what you should do. They should just be sending the food delivery robots into the heat. They should just be like, if there's smoke or flames, send the robots there, keep the food a little bit warm. Amy stops getting harassed by whoever is controlling that robot, probably some perverted man in another country where labor's cheaper. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to go there with that. Brandon knows what I'm talking about. He's got his own little robots. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to keep going. Our next comedian, it's his second time on the show. He was on recently, and you guys loved him, so I wanted to bring him back. And he's got a show coming up this Thursday at Zany's in Rosemont, right? Is it in Rosemont? Yeah, the right Zany's. So if you're in Chicago, check him out this Thursday at the Zany's in Rosemont. Please welcome back to Chirping Bird, Anthony Bonazzo!
How's everybody doing? This is a crazy. There's an energy pulsating from the couches and the beds. I'm looking at all the screens here, just seeing all this comfort that I see. Somebody that's like, and then just no screens. I just like to get to know who I'm talking to here. He looks like he's on Tinder. I don't know what's going on over there, but this is going to be fun. They told me I could do 3 hours, so we're going to be here all night, you guys. So I hope you're not tuning Vikings game, because it's just going to be me. They couldn't get Luigi Mangione on here, so they're like, let's get Tony Bonazzo on here. Let's see what he can do. Pow. What is going on? So my biggest thing, I don't know is anybody in the Midwest or Chicago other than Mark and I and Parati?
Well, not Chicago, but northwest suburbs.
Midwest. Okay, so you'll appreciate this.
Groundhog Day the movie.
What's that?
Home of Groundhog Day the movie.
Oh, giddy up. So I got this new job, and we do all these Zoom calls, like way more than I anticipated doing for a fitness job. And it was like 5 Zoom calls the other day. And the only person who had their camera on, so it was just like this, but everybody was above, like I'm seeing you all on the side, but everybody was like on the top, right? And the only person that had their camera on was my supervisor. And everybody's chirping bird, like chirping at each other, like almost like in an argument style. So it looked like It's a Wonderful Life when the stars are talking to one another, like flashing. But it's also like It's a Wonderful Life, but like the biggest, like Midwest It's a Wonderful Life. So it's 2 guys and 1 woman, and their names were Bob Bob, Tom, and Dave, which just sound like the most generic Midwesterners like arguing on a Zoom call. So I'm sitting there like hysterically laughing with my muted because it's literally like this guy like, yeah, Bob, we got to get these licenses coded by Saturday. We can't have our guy working on Saturday. These union guys, they're not going to come in. And then Chris logs her screen on, and she's like this hard ass Italian Southside Chicago woman that comes on, and she's like, you know what, Bob? I've been working together with you guys for about 18 years. Could you please just do this as a personal favor to me? Could you just take care of this, please? I'd really appreciate it. And then Bob chimes in. She turns her camera off and goes, yeah, Chris, we got it. Thanks again for the cupcakes. I hope Luke does good at the pageant this weekend. We'll catch up. Me and Dave will take care of it. So then he goes back to, and then they're arguing. He's like, yeah, Bob, we got to get these things together for Saturday. And then he's like, yeah, we'll do it. You know, we're watching the Bears game. They're not even in the playoffs, but we're watching the rerun of the 85 team. Anyway, I'll see you at Bowling League. We'll figure it out. And I'm like, this could be the next Saturday live sketch. Just instead of the Bears, it's just the Zoom call. I don't know. Maybe there's potential there. I thought it was I was laughing so hard because people, I saw someone just posted there from Nebraska, but like people in Chicago are like super passionate people. Like everything to a Chicagoan is the best of everything. You know, like you'll talk to somebody from Chicago and they're like, we have the best pizza, Chicago, best potato chips, Chicago, best Robitussin, Chicago, you know, best buffering, Chicago. And, you know, and then you're like, best homeless people, Chicago. And then you're like, have you ever tried the pizza in Italy? It's really good. And he's like, no, I never left Downers Grove. Grew up on the south side of Chicago. I'm like, that's not Chicago. They love to add an S to everything, you know, like I'm going to Aldi's, going to Jules, going to Soldiers Fields, and then they'll flip out on you if you pronounce the S in Illinois. You know, they're like, it's not Illinois, it's Illinois, you jag off. And, you know, they get really hard. They're like, I'm from Chicago, I don't play that. And I'm like, you're from Schaumburg, sit down right now. Like you grew up on the 8 Mile, but like 8 miles from medieval times, okay? Like you never saw a horse drive by, but you never saw a real drive by. Stop acting like you were doing rap battles with Eminem. But that's why I like it, and everybody here, they just refuse to change the names on anything. They refuse. There's a refusal of growth. That's why my heart goes out if you're in the trans community coming out as trans to your family in Chicago. I feel like this would be the hardest city in America to come out as trans because they won't even call the Sears Tower by its new name. They still call it Comiskey, and it was demolished 30 years ago. Do you think they're going to respect your pronouns? You know. If I came out, I was like, I'm not Anthony. I want you to call me, you know, Annette. They'd be like, yeah, screw you. You're always going to be Fat Tony to me. Sorry, we're not changing. We're not changing for anybody. So it's fun. But what else? I didn't want Trump to win, but I did want him to go away for comedy reasons. Like just the stupid stuff to hear him be like, they're eating the dogs. Like just one more time, like. They're eating the cats. Like, I just felt like it was the beginning of a nursery rhyme we never got to hear the ending to. Like, they're eating the chickens on Old McDonald's farm. Like, I feel like we could have gotten a lot. Can you imagine how annoying Trump would have been as a baby, just like with his red hair and a diaper? It's like, I said, what? Kamala, you know, like he just translated. It's like, I just left you the biggest dookie. It's bigger than China. Nobody leaves my diapers. I just feel like he would be more of a nuisance then. Maybe he just grew into the role. I don't know. But I think if they were not deporting people and they were deporting dogs, like White Woman had it wrapped up like a month ago. Like just, it would have been on the news, fighting ICE agents. You know, they're like, let those border collies through. Like they're helping the dogs. They're very nasty women helping those canine units. Either that or if he just threw like a curveball and just started deporting Android users, that would be kind of fun. You ever talk to an Android user? They act like they're the most depressed person on the planet. I was talking to my friend the other day and she screamed, white woman screamed, why does anybody care what color I am? And I'm like, because they're green text messages. I'm like, what are you talking about? Nobody cares. They're just annoyed that when you type a text message, we don't see the ... It springs on us. It's abrupt. We want to be prepared. Anyway, I took an Adderall before this, so I'm a little bit pumped up, but no, I didn't. I took what did I drink? Some energy drink, but I'm flying high, but it's fun. But Yeah, like literally LA's on fire and Trump's like, you know what, let's call it the Gulf of Chipotle. Like what are we doing? Like, where is this priorities right now? What's happening? Why is this the biggest thing right now? But the night of the election, I got a text message. It was from the Democratic Party, and it said, "Please join us and fellow Democrats for a campfire and grieving where we can cry and sing songs together." And immediately I was like, "What is this? This is why we lost. Like we can't be singing Kumbaya. Like they're preparing for the next January 6th. Like let's get toughen up here, you know." And then I found out that he appointed Dr. Oz. So I was like, maybe I'm going to need that campfire and a cry. Like there's just a lot of bad stuff going on, but I don't know. Things are weird. Like people just like him because he just says whatever's on his mind, you know. And I don't ever really agree with anything. I feel like there's a middle ground where like we need to like be respectful, but like also have a line where it's like maybe some stuff's a little bit too much. Like I've been reviewing resumes and for a position that I'm trying to hire at work, and now there's a button that I have to click and I have to reach out to get consent for the employee that's applying for me to view their resume. So I got like 47 resumes yesterday, and I was like, oh cool, let me click on this person. It was like, you must get my written consent to look at my resume, and I'm like, I don't have time. like it's the only time I'm not okay with getting your consent is like I can't email 40 people for this job that needs to be hired by Friday, you know. And I got yelled at by someone the other day because I called a homeless person homeless, and she's like, it's not homeless, it's without a home. And I thought about it, and I was trying to be like sympathetic, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I think that's kind of the same thing. And she's like, no, it's without a home. And then I was like, well, I've been homeless, so I feel like I have a say. Like I think it's just how you treat people, you know. And she was like, no, it's without a home. So there was literally a homeless guy standing right there, and I was like, do you care if I call you homeless or without a home? And he's like, I don't give a shit, I'm homeless, get me a beer. So I don't know if I'm going to call her worthless or without a worth. I don't know. I'm going to either maybe jobless or without a job. I don't know. I'm just getting ahead of the curve. I'm calling strip clubs the home of the unclothed. Like I am just trying to be a man of the people. Like I'm trying to do the right thing, but it's not always easy, as you can see. But I posted the other day that I was moving to LA and people got upset. I really thought I was going to move, and then everything happened. And no one's ever talked about, like, did anybody think that like maybe there was like some really weird botched Botox injection in plastic that could have burst out of somebody's chin and caused all these fires? No, anybody? Is that too soon? I don't know. Maybe because I got yeah, it's fun though. People are we're in a weird period right now. People always come up to me after I do like live shows, and they ask me if I'm Jewish, which is just like a weird question to go up and ask somebody. You know, they're like, "You Jewish?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "You look Jewish." And I'm like, "I'm not really sure, like, what's the right answer to that? Like, it's about time." Noticed I've been hitting the gym. I've been going to Planet Fitness. Like, thank you for all this work. I've been doing the work, you know. And then I was walking home the other day from Target, and this car drove by, and he's beeping like a maniac. And I go, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Happy Hanukkah." And I'm like, "I'm not Jewish." He goes, "Yeah, you are." And then just kept driving. And I'm like, "Was that like a drive-by Hanukkah?" I don't know what that was. So I am embracing it. I'm having a bar mitzvah in the summertime. And yeah, I got a circumcision again. And so there's not a lot left, but I'm doing the work here. I'm trying to embrace the do what's right for the tribe. What else? I just turned 47. I know I look great. Thank you, Ozempic. No, it's Manjaro. I am ready to be a stay-at-home dad. I already told my family I don't even want kids or a wife. I just want to stay at home, and I just want someone to call me daddy. Please call me daddy sometime tonight. It's not going well. I joined a crockpot recipe group on Facebook the other day. Yeah, so like it's really going downhill. I'm like looking up like turkey chili, and I'm like, what can I do all day Sunday? Definitely getting cranky. Like, I don't know if anybody in the room here tonight is cranky. I got mad the other day because I had to bend down to pick up the remote. It wasn't even,
Yeah.
it wasn't even like pain. Like I didn't have back pain. I just was mad that I had to bend down. Like I was like, oh God Almighty! I bent down. My friend's like, "What's the matter with you?" I'm like, "I got to pick up the damn remote." And he's like, "Are you hurting?" And I'm like, "No." Like I was just bitching for no reason about a remote control. I was like, like my whole night for like bad parenting in public. This lady's kid was running around like a maniac. And she's like, Tommy, you better knock it off or I'm going to count to 35. And I'm like, 35? Like, what happened to 3? Like, is this inflation? And then she didn't even give him a punishment. She goes, and then it's no Nintendo Switch. It's just your iPad and your Hulu in your room. That's not a punishment. That's just a fun night. Like I don't want to hit kids. I'm not advocating for hitting kids, but I'm for sure for putting a little bit of a fear of God back into kids that they can't just say whatever they want and do whatever they want. My mom would take like a wooden spoon while she was making meatballs. And if I said something wrong, she would just take it out and be like, get out of here. And I was like, that was it. I was done. I wouldn't push it. Maybe we do that, like where it's just like Palm Sunday Mass where they flick you with the water, but it's raw meat bits instead. Like, here you go. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Father. That would be fun. Yeah, I tried Coke for the first time the other day. I was up until 7 o'clock in the morning. It was Coke Zero. You can't drink caffeine past 40 or you'll be awake until Christmas. And like little things, like I hurt my neck and I went to the chiropractor. He's like, Anthony, it's your cervical spine. He's like, I want you to do 10 of these. And then I want you to do 10 of these. And I'm like, what? Like, what bukkake training are you getting? Like, what are you getting me ready for right now? And then I had to do I got a prostate massage. Well, it was a exam, I should say. And the guy, it was so impersonal. I felt so used. I walked in, he goes, all right, how you doing? I go, good. He goes, pants down, underwear down. And I'm like, oh, well, good to meet you too, doc. And he comes over, he goes, little pressure here. And which was the biggest lie of the night, because it wasn't even just like 2, it was 4 fingers that he just like popped. Oh. And I just go, whoa, like that, just like you guys did. And he pulls it out and then threw a box of tissues at me. He goes, all right, clean it up. And I was like, what, clean it up? Like, is he finished? Like, what's going on? I stood up and he goes, everything looked fine. And he was almost like saying, like, we didn't even need to do this, but you asked for it, so I gave it to you. And now get out of my office, And I'm like, that was the biggest misleading thing to say, little pressure, because that was not a little pressure. That was a lot of pressure. It was alarming to me how quickly 4 fingers went up there, because I've never had anything else that big up there that I'm aware of, maybe in college. But it was a little. Little Pressure should be like my new porn name, like, The Short King and Little Pressure. And I just drop down from the ceiling and I'm like, something like that. All right, the caffeine's wearing out. I can't tell who's awake and who's paying attention, but this age bracket is fun because you have to plan like what food you're hungover for. Like I see people eating sometimes and I'm like, I would be in hospice by tomorrow morning if I ate any of that, Did the adage liquor before beer, you're in the clear, beer before liquor, never sicker. There needs to be a new one. If you're over 40, past 9 just call 911. Like I had a the other day. I was hungover for 2 weeks. I went to the hospital and I was like, I need a ventilator. And she's like, sir, you don't have COVID. I'm like, ma'am, I took Pepto-Bismol earlier and there's a fart literally trapped right here and I can't breathe. I need a ventilator. And she's like, you're not getting one. So now I'm suing Northwestern Hospital. It's fine. I'm going to win and I'm not worried about it. But, people love to tell you also in this age bracket what foods make them shit their pants. I'm not sure why or when it begins, but they do. I went out to eat with some friends and I thought we were getting something safe. And I was like, do you guys, you want to get Brussels sprouts for the table? My friend goes out loud. He goes, no. I'll shit my pants. And I was like, are we really doing this out loud? And everybody was like, oh, okay. Like everybody was like, oh, okay. And we started going through like different menu items and we finally settled on white rice because it's binding. And, like, why are we here? It's an $85, dinner for white rice balls, but it's fine. But people also fart in this age bracket and then pretend like they didn't just fart. I went out to lunch with my friend the other day and literally we're in line and he just goes, and I go, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm going to get the Cobb salad. And I go, you just farted, and he's like, yeah, like a good lettuce. I can smell what just came out. And he goes, yeah, romaine, and I'm going to get tomatoes. Like it just pretended like what? I also think if you're over 50, they should sell iPhones with the light already turned on. You ever see these people that just walk around? They're like looking for their husbands at like a festival. They're like, Brian, and then they put it back in their back pocket because they forgot, and it's like a little butt lightsaber. No, nobody has old friends. Okay. I'm really worried about the Haktua girl, you guys. I feel like she's going to regret this decision in about 5 years, and I feel like she's not going to get taken seriously when she goes on a date. She wants to like be like a nice girl, and the guy's like, "So you're going to spin that thing?" You know? And she's like, "I actually write poetry now." I feel like she's going to write a book of poetry in a few years called like Haikua. You know, like I'm that page. I've been telling people that I was a regional sales manager at Radio Shack for 35 years because there's really no way to check that I was not. If you don't know what Radio Shack is, God bless you. It was like Best Buy, but everything was $2,000. But I thought this is actually, try a couple of new ones here. This is like funny because it's true. I had a death in the family, and I got like so many weird instances. People like my neighbor was like called me up. He's like, I just want to say I'm really sorry. I just lost my uncle. And I came home, and he goes, I left you a gift. So I come home, and on my door is just it looked like Laverne and Shirley just sitting on my door handle. And I'm like, I call him, I go, what is this? He goes, my uncle's gloves. He would have wanted you to have them. I've never met the guy in my life. I'm just like, we're gonna do it. It's like this dead man's gloves on my door. And then a woman I used to do comedy with messaged me, and she said, you know, that she also lost one of her parents, and that she would buy multiple sticks of male deodorant for her mom because her mom preferred male deodorant, and that she actually had because I posted a joke on Facebook that I wish that I could afford Mando deodorant, and she's like, I actually have 4 sticks of Mando deodorant that are unused that my mom didn't like, so if you want, I can bring them to you. So she came to one of my comedy shows with, there's no real joke here. She just came to one of my comedy shows with 2 sticks of Mando deodorant from her no longer living mother, and then 3 edibles. Am I the only one that thinks that's funny? Dead woman's deodorant, and then I got Laverne and Shirley gloves on my door. Anyway, there's a lot more, but we don't have time. All right. 2 minutes, Mark?
Yeah, 2, yeah.
All right, so Wells Fargo, that's old news now. The Wells Fargo employee that they found dead in the office after like a week. Did you guys see that news? It's terrible, which is terrible. But sadly, it's not the worst thing that Wells Fargo's ever done. Did you guys know who Cesar Millan is? I didn't know who this guy was. The dog whisperer. All his videos. Yeah. All his videos are popping up on Facebook. He's been around forever. I got made fun of because I didn't know who he was. But I was at my sister's for Christmas, and we were watching the video, and he's like, you just have to stay calm. You stay calm. Like his pit bull's like ripped his arm open. He's like, I'm calm. I'm bleeding. You can see my bone, but I'm calm. You have to take him from a very aggressive state to a very relaxed, submissive state. And my sister and my brother-in-law were arguing right in front of me, and my brother was like, and I go, George, you are very aggressive. You have to be very calm. And I said, we need a dog whisperer, but for relationships. Anyway, that's not a completed joke, but that's hilarious to have like the relationship whisperer. All right. All right. One last joke to close this out. Actually, 1.5. Is that okay? 1.5. Yeah. I went to New York for the holiday, and I just got there, and we were super excited. We were like, "Oh, let's go Christmas shopping!" And then this protest came through with like drums, and we were like, "What's like?" We were now in the middle of a protest, and they were chanting, "Bombs are dropping." They're like, "Bombs are dropping," and they were getting in your face, but like, "While you're shopping," and I was like, all right, like I just got here, man. Like, I'm just trying to Christmas shop. You know, I got like 3 more people left. I'm like, am I not supposed to Christmas shop? So I saw that guy in the bathroom at the Macy's, and he was in the stall. So I peeked over the edge, and I was like, "Planes are swooping while you're pooping." Anyway, I got back. It was fun. Last joke. I'm old, but I go to Target a lot, and I went to go buy this Power Wash Dawn soap the other day, and I ended up walking out with a $400 Oculus virtual reality mask, which I don't know if you guys know. They're not cheap, but they're on sale, and they're amazing. I have not stopped using it since I got it, and I used to be a big gamer back in the day, so I was on my couch the other day, and I could not figure out how to play this game, lightsaber tag. I just kept like falling off this cliff, and I would die, and I didn't know how to play. And I finally got so frustrated. I go, "How do you play this stupid game?" And I punched my couch, and I hear this voice go, "You got to catch the lightsaber, sir." And I'm alone in my room in Meadow World, and I go, "What?" And this little kid starts like walking towards me, like animated kid. And he's like, "You got to catch the lightsaber, sir." He's like, "You're not going to catch it every time. You'll catch it sometimes, and I'll catch it sometimes. But when you get it, it's a lot of fun when you figure it out." I just go, like literally in Meta World, my character goes, and he goes, "No problem." And he just goes, and he flies off the cliff. And I'm like, what is happening? And that's when I realized I wasn't playing the game alone. I was in a virtual reality room with like 65 kids, like a private room. And I'm just like this creepy old man in the park, like hanging out, like, "You guys like tag? I'll play lightsaber tag. I got a lightsaber. I'm going to come to my van. I got one down my van. No pressure. Well, a little pressure. Anyway, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Yes. All right, guys, I do got some special news for you. Judah Friedlander is going to be signing on a little bit. So please, everybody, put your hands together, though, for our next comedian coming up. I'm super happy. I just saw him last night in Chicago. If you're here, go off, and you're not in a loud place, go off of mute. If you're able to go on camera because Judah likes to ask. He likes to field questions, and he likes to do some crowd work. And so please go ahead and do that. Child predators are so funny, Brandon. That is the best. That they are hilarious. Brandon knows child predators are incredibly funny. But yeah, Court, Evil Dave, Sean, I know you guys normally don't go iPhone. William Claude Reynolds is around. You can come back on. Brandon just fucking ran away. I called out Brandon. He just, I said, Pratik's going to come up next, and he's like, gone. But no, please welcome to the virtual stage, the wonderful Pratik Srivastava.
Hello, everybody. Yo, hey, one more time for Mark Anthony. One more time for Anthony Bonazzo, Amy Schwartz, Boris Hyken. Like, yeah, give it up for all. You got you're seeing some different people on, so this is cool. I'm happy. Yeah, Anthony's a good dude. I don't know if anyone here is in the Chicagoland area, or if anyone wants to fly in Thursday the 16th. Yeah, fly in and you can see Anthony Bonazzo. You just saw headline Zany's Rosemont. It's actually right by the airport, so you could actually potentially fly in, go see him at Zany's Rosemont. I will also be there. You might see 20 minutes from me. I'll try not to do any of that 20 minutes today, but we'll see. I might have to do one or two things. But you can see me and him. He's headlining, and you can have some fun in Chicago. Come in for 2 days. Chicago's not that bad right now, like compared to the rest of the world. Like there's political unrest, fires, ice storms, ice road truckers, dictatorship, a lot of stuff. Like our world is turning to a Twisted Metal level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Lauren and Andre. My friend's here. Good. I just let her in. People are coming, and that's why I want to be co-host. I'm actually, Mark doesn't let me be co-host, so I get control now. Yeah, I'm taking over. Yeah, this will be good. But yeah, good to see some of you. I know I haven't been on in. I don't think I wasn't on much in December. Yeah, so no. I was trying. There were 2 shows where I was trying to come on, but yeah. Bonazzo just if you want to come in, use flight code promo Beard Bonaz. That'll get you into Chicago, and then you can go from the airport, O'Hare Airport, right to Zany's Rosemont, and it'll be fun. January 16th. What's wrong with me? Yeah, January 16th, this Thursday. I'm sure there are plenty of but yeah, get your tickets, get there. Beard Bonaz, come through Zany's Rosemont, please. Please. This is not about comedy, but please plug. Fly in, fly out. Yeah, wherever you are, get in there. It'll be good.
You don't even need a room. You don't even need a hotel room.
You don't need a hotel room, and even if you do, I'll let you stay in the Beard. You can the maximum occupancy is $20. Not maximum occupancy is 20 people. it won't cost you much. Just Mike Eckert, you would love to live in here for a day. I could tell. Yeah. But it's cool. Over the holidays, I got to this past year. I got to meet some of you. Lauren and Andre. I did meet Mike Eckert. I've not met you yet. That's coming. Maybe one day. I blurred my background. God damn it. Yes, Lauren and Andre. I did see you guys. That couch that they're sitting on. For those of you. You want a little info? I slept on that couch. That was very exciting. That when I met them, I was like, I want to see where you guys watch Chirping. I want to see the entire experience. So Anthony just wrote Airbnb beard. Yes, that is. You should. We got to trademark these. It'll be fun. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I was in Toronto for a bit. I was in New York I actually spent New York. I went to see the ball drop, but there was so much security. So I went to an Irish pub and I saw some different balls drop. Edward knows what I'm talking about. Yes. It's good to see. Good to see actual Edward, not some computer generated Edward. Like I want to see real Edward. All right. I like seeing real Mike Eckert. I like seeing real William Claude. I saw William Claude Reynolds this past year too. Saw him. Yes, in Washington D.C. at a barbecue restaurant because that's what I do. With my comedy career is I tape specials at barbecue restaurants. All right. Yeah. I headline barbecue restaurants. All right. I feature at Zany's Rosemont, but I headline barbecue restaurant. That's what's important to remember. Right. You guys. Yeah. That's what my career is. Okay. It is blurry in the background. I couldn't tell. I blurred my background for the first time ever. Give it up for that. I figured that out, everybody. It only took me 4 years of Zoom usage to figure out how to blur the background. So now I can't do jokes like Indian in a cupboard because there's a nook above me. Yeah. Mike Eckert is going to come in. Yeah, I got to complete Brandon, you got to come in one of these days too. Brandon, where are you located?
Northern California.
Northern California. Are you all right though?
Yes, away from the fires. Far away.
Good. Yeah, because I know the air looks like a System of a Down video. I don't. We don't want that. It is good. When you come to NorCal, I'll buy you dinner. Well, that's very sweet, Brandon. Yes, and whatever results, whatever comes after that dinner, whatever team, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Yeah. There will be some smoke blowing after that dinner. I'll tell you that right now. This is fun. No, I have been doing a lot of traveling. And when I was leaving Toronto, so I left Toronto to go back to New York. So I spent New Year's Eve in New York, and then I went to Pittsburgh. But when I was flying from Toronto to New York, this thing happened. I was getting into the security line. I don't have TSA pre-check. I have TSA beard check. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta do that, baby. So I was getting into the security line, and I saw Buddhist monks with a bunch of suitcases. And I got to see the TSA security guard yell at Buddhist monks, "You pack too many things. You need to consolidate your worldly possessions." Man, I did not think in my lifetime I would see Buddhist monks get yelled at for having too many possessions. I tried that. I did not try that yesterday at Reed's. I don't even think I did a set yesterday at Reed's. That was like, I think what I performed yesterday at Reed's. Remember the end of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? That's what that was yesterday. It was the end of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yes, I am spoiling a movie from 1996, but also it was a book, so that was even longer. Yeah, but shout out to the Dr. Hunter S. Thompson. I have his other book here from the campaign trail. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm not even telling jokes. I'm just plugging Zany's Rosemont headlining for Anthony Bonazzo and plugging books that you can get in a library. Remember what libraries are, everybody? Yeah, libraries, because those might be gone in 2 months. You don't know. So go to a library, get books. They got DVDs too. I don't know if they have porn at the library. That I don't know if they have that. But they do have things that are cool. All right. You want to watch Fast and Furious? You could go to Netflix, or you can go to your library and get all the DVDs for free. Yeah. Sean just wrote who watches DVDs. I watch DVDs. Well, I actually don't watch DVDs. I just buy the DVDs and I just collect them. I collect them like Pokemon cards. You know what I'm saying? Gotta catch that 6th season of House. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna, that 6th season of House is gonna evolve into House season 8. You know what I'm saying? That's the final form of that Pokemon DVD evolution. Good Lord. It's wild. Yeah, like you gotta play throwback sometime. Like, hey, Lorna and Andre and I, we played Twisted Metal, which I haven't played. And so you gotta throw it back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta throw old video games. And then I almost had a breathing attack afterwards. I got an aerial attack from my lungs. I think the lungs ingested too much Twisted Metal fire, and also Fireball, which I know they like to. I'm not revealing any personal details. I don't think, right? Like that's understood. The Fireball, yeah. So that's fun. That was good. Good visual there. Good cut, Pratik. Good ad spotlight there. But yeah, Toronto was fun. Then I was in New York for a bit, a little bit of security. It's funny. Everybody's like, oh, aren't you worried about like going to Europe with your beard? Aren't you going to get like, extra random security check with your beard? I go to London. The security guards have longer beards than me. You know what I'm saying? Like they do not care. Like I used to get more security issues when I was clean shaven. Like when I was Judah set will be Twitch only when YouTube goes. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm so ADD. I read all the comments. That's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like you could ask me questions and I'll just read them because I have ADD. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to spoil that. But yeah, like it was wild, man. Like I remember a couple of years ago before I had the beard. So we're talking 2017, you guys. Like, and I don't have the picture of myself here. But I know all, like, it's funny because Boris and Anthony, Amy and all, we've performed so many times. So they all know what I look like. And Mark too. Mark knows what I look like without the beard. But then there's like a whole culture of Zoom KO people that they don't know. They're like, what do you look like? And I mean, I can show you I can show you what I look like as a child, but I don't have any current I don't have any like pictures of myself right now that I can show, but I do have this, so you can see this. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that Lego man haircut. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how did I go from looking like Macaulay, the little boy in Home Alone, to looking like the burglars from Home Alone, and now I'm the creepy old man from Home Alone. I went through the entire evolution of Home Alone. That's why. Oh, side note: if you do fly into O'Hare Airport, that was featured in Home Alone. Do you remember the scene where the family runs through the airport? Yeah, and I like to reenact that scene. Problem is, when you have this beard, they don't like when you run through an airport. But like I said, like I joke about I get checked. I don't get harassed at all. Like I got harassed in Vancouver, but it wasn't because of beard. It was because I said that I brought a banana from my cousin's house. No, did you bring fruits and vegetables in? I'm like, I got a banana that I forgot to eat on the Greyhound bus to Vancouver from Seattle. So am I declaring now that? But what if I ate it? Am I still declaring it? Like, is my poop banana supposed to be declared when I enter a new country? Like, the security is so weird. So yes, I just said poop. But I have a college degree, everyone, and I just said poop banana on Zoom, which is how I know it's fine. Yeah, Mark, just give me the 2-minute message or whatever when I need to fly off the handle. No, it is wild though that like it's funny. Everybody's like they're so worried. Like, oh, there's a new president. It's gonna be crazy for you and your harassment and blah blah blah. You shouldn't go to the South, Pratik. I had the best time in Alabama. I was drinking moonshine with white dudes named Merlin the whole time in Alabama. No one calls me a terrorist in Alabama. Meanwhile, I go to visit my cousins. They will call me a terrorist. So that's what I'm saying. It's not the South. It's not red states. It's my own family that does it. You know what I'm saying? I go to security lines, they don't bother me. I legitimately was getting more harassed when I had a clean shaven face. You know what I'm saying? I remember having to go and get like hey, Pratik, we're gonna take you in this other. First off, that's a joke. They would not. The security guard did not say my name correctly. That's an exaggeration. That's not. They did not bother to There are people in the comedy community that still don't know how to say my name. You think a security guard at Newark Airport's gonna learn how to say my name for 2 minutes? Get the fuck out of here. That doesn't exist. So he said, hey, you got to go in the other room. And this is when I was clean shaven. This is 2018. Bad year for getting your hands wiped. But literally, they took like this like cloth thing and they're wiping the hands and they're going, oh, there might be like bomb residue on your hands. And I'm thinking, what kind of sorry ass terrorist goes from making a bomb straight to the airport? Who's doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think you washed your hands before that? Like, are you a reverse hypochondria terrorist that I gotta make this MacGyver this thing over here and then run straight to Southwest Airlines Group C? Doesn't make sense. Terrible. Thank you, Lorna. Lorna laughs for 400 people. That's the only reason. No, it's great. I do need to wrap this up. But no, it's good to be back with family. Make some noise if you have. Who's got annoying family members? We have annoying family members. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not making noise, you are the annoying family member. That's what that is, baby. Yeah, spend time with the family. Yeah, they do annoy me sometimes. The family does. It's we were having a great debate over whether or not to keep our coat closet. My parents' house, we have a coat closet. Yay, give it up for a coat closet. We're moving on up. Yeah, coat closet. There are currently too many coats in the closet to the point that we need to remove a few. And I have an old winter jacket that I don't use. And my dad's like, but I used that jacket. I used it 2 years ago, one time. And we had a 45-minute debate over whether or not to keep that one jacket that he will use one time 2 years ago. And I think the question is, where is that? Like, maybe I need to present that jacket to you guys. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to pop in next week. I'm not doing it this week. I'm now doing serialized sets. So you got to tune in every few weeks to see how these sets resolve. I'm serious. This is the goal for Pratik Srivastava. I can't speak for the rest of the comedians that do Chirping Bird, but if you watch, you will learn things, and things will build, and it's going to be like a drama. Like, you're going to have to binge watch. You're going to have to go back and watch on Comedy Hub, KO Comedy, Twitch Comedy Hub. You got to go watch. If you don't watch this, you're not going to understand next week, or maybe not next week. Maybe it'll be the other week. I don't know. But in one of the few weeks, I will bring that jacket on Chirping Bird, and you guys are going to decide. Do we keep this jacket or do we donate it? So you have control of possessions in the Srivastava household. We are not Buddhists. We don't remove worldly possessions. You get to decide. So, yeah. So you tune in one of these weeks and you might get to see, and maybe I'll tell Mark which week I'm coming on. I don't know. It's a surprise. You don't know when I'll be popping on. You know, the winter coat cliffhanger. You know what I'm saying, Nikki? Yeah. Evil Dave knows. I can tell Evil Dave has disposed of some jackets before. Maybe there was something else in that jacket. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there might be a poop banana. There might be a jacket disposal. You never know. So, yeah, keep tuning in. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to be on. It's a surprise. You never know. You don't know who's popping in. Mark spoiled that Judah was going to be on. We were gonna should not tell you till after my set, but we gotta let you guys know a little bit. We got to give you guys some clues. So, yes. So keep tuning in. I might destroy a jacket or I might donate a jacket. We'll see. And yeah, enjoy your headliner, everybody. And you'll see me again soon. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to KO Comedy Club. I was not on in December, so I didn't get to say big ups to Kabir Singh, who did pass away. The K in KO comedy. We did lose him. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to him. And thank you guys so much. Bye bye. Happy New Year.
Yeah, one more time for Britigs or Osnos, and stay tuned. We will decide what to do with his jacket.
Yeah.
We should, when you do that, we should meet up in person. We should both try it on. We should do a little fashion.
I think we should. Yeah, maybe we'll have to do it in person. That will be the performance in person.
That will be an in-person trying on the jackets. We'll pass it back and forth. I do want to thank everyone that has performed so far. If you like what you've seen, I've posted the Venmo. You can donate to the Venmo. We divide that amongst all the comedians that are performing. And check out on this channel on Comedy Hub and KO Comedy next Sunday, the fundraiser for the LA fires as well, with Kelly Zemnikas doing that. If you're in Chicago, check out Anthony Bonazzo this Thursday at Zany's in Rosemont. And if you're watching on YouTube, cut over to the Twitch channel as well, because I'm going to introduce your headliner for the night. Get your questions in or type them in the chat. Get them all ready as you want. I will ask them if you have questions about life, the universe, anything else. He's ready to field it. But please welcome to Chirping Bird, Judah, the World Champ Friedlander. Yeah. Yeah.